What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and lately there has been a lot of news going around about the casting of the Fantastic Four. And yes, everybody is super excited and very eager to know who is going to be Marvel's first family in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, there are a lot of talks about a lot of different actors who could possibly be playing the roles of Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. However, we have recently heard some news about the casting for the villain of the Fantastic Four movie. And based off of everything that we know so far about who the villain is going to be, or at least one of them and the main one is going to be, we've heard and the report suggests that the villain is indeed going to be Galactus. And before any thoughts cross your head whatsoever, no, Galactus is not going to be a giant cloud. And yes, Galactus is going to speak in the new Fantastic Four movie. And hopefully Galactus isn't just going to be a one and done villain. Hopefully he's going to be more like Loki or Thanos. I don't believe that he is going to be a big bad, but I do think he's going to appear in more than one project. It would be such a shame if Galactus only showed up for one Fantastic Four movie, and would be a huge waste. But I don't think Marvel is going to do that. Fingers crossed, at least. But we have been hearing news about who could possibly be voicing Galactus in the MCU. And based off of what we know, the actor who is going to be playing Galactus isn't just going to be voicing him, but actually physically playing the role of Galactus. So whoever they get to play Galactus, their face will be inside that awesome helmet. And it seems like right now, as Marvel Studios is finalizing the casting of the 4 Fantastic Four members, they are also finalizing the casting for the villain, Galactus. And so far, we have heard some huge names that are in the running to play the role, but we recently found out from a report from Grace Randolph that Marvel Studios met with Denzel Washington to talk to him about playing the World Devourer. Now, obviously, this is a huge name, and we're about to talk about some other huge names that could be Galactus as well, but Denzel Washington, that's a really big name, and I can picture the voice now. However, according to Grace Randolph, Denzel Washington declined the offer to play Galactus, which is kind of a bummer because I do think that Denzel Washington's voice would have made for a great Galactus voice, and also I think him suited up as Galactus would have been really cool as well. However, there are still many other roles that he could play in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am excited for 2 names that have been thrown around though, who could possibly be playing Galactus. And one of them, who you might have heard recently, is Antonio Banderas. I personally am a really big fan of Antonio Banderas, and I do think that his voice would suit Galactus well. And he is an actor who just has incredible range. He's been acting for a very long time, and I think if given the chance, he could crush this role. Now, this report is coming from The Insider, My Time to Shine Hello, and The Insider does have a good track record. However, it is important to know that they do not say that Antonio Banderas has been cast, but is in negotiations currently with Marvel Studios to play the role. Another insider, Alex P. from the Cosmic Circus, also kind of backs up this report as well. And another name that has been thrown out there, and this one is just kind of a rumor for now, is Liam Neeson. And I think that this is a voice that a lot of people have thought could be just very, very awesome for Galactus. And I think more than any other one out there, his face might be best suited for Galactus. Although I definitely think that Antonio Banderas could also rock that Galactus helmet. It is interesting hearing about casting because primarily the actor who is going to be playing Galactus, it is just going to be their face. The rest of the body has a full suit on. It's probably going to be mocap, CGI, so it is primarily going to be all about their face. And regarding the Fantastic Four movie, the casting in general, not just the main Fantastic Four members casting, but the villain and villains of the movie and other characters that'll show up as well. We've heard Kevin Feige is extremely involved in the casting process. This is one project that Kevin Feige is a little bit more involved with than the others. So hopefully that means everything is just going to be spot on when it comes to casting and the story. But as of right now, it looks like Antonio Banderas is the front runner to play Galactus and is in current negotiations. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll do an update video if we hear anything at all. We also have some news about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse today. It looks like it is breaking records already, this time for the official runtime. And it's going to be the third longest Spider-Man film out of all of the live-action Spider-Man films that we've gotten before, and of course, Into the Spider-Verse as well. According to the insider Cryptic 4K Qual, who has been very reliable when it comes to scooping runtimes, Across the Spider-Verse is going to clock in at 2 hours and 20 minutes, making it the longest ever major Hollywood studio animated movie, which is awesome. I really enjoyed the first one. A lot of fans really did as well, so I'm excited to get more in the second movie. And like I said, this also clocks in at third for longest Spider-Man movie ever. Spider-Man No Way Home is currently first at 2 hours and 28 minutes, and then The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is second with 2 hours and 22 minutes, only beating it by 2 minutes. The first Into the Spider-Verse film clocked in at 1 hour and 56 minutes, so the sequel will be 24 minutes longer. And this sequel is going to have, as we've all seen from the trailers, even more Spider-Man variants. And now we are officially less than a month away from its premiere. It hits theaters Friday, June 2nd. And now we're going to talk about something that has been kind of controversial between fans and fandoms. James Gunn, who of course directed the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and is now the head over at DC Studios running it with Peter Safran, has confirmed that there have been active talks about a Marvel DC crossover, and in an interview with Deadline gave us kind of a timeline for it. And the feelings of a lot of fans are kind of up in the air right now. I think a lot of people would love to see characters like Batman on screen with characters like Thor. We'd love to see characters like the Scarlet Witch interact with Wonder Woman or the Green Lantern. It really is a very cool thing to think about. However, of course, it does have the possibility of going extremely wrong, which is why James Gunn says that some things definitely need to happen first before we get a crossover. He recently said, "I think there's always the possibility of that," speaking about the crossover. "I think that would be a fun thing for fans to see, but I do think it's just about grounding the Marvel and DC universes right now and trying to make them each as strong as possible. And that is entirely what needs to happen before this crossover could happen, especially when it comes to DC. And this is kind of where James Gunn gives us a possible timeline of when we could see this happen, because James Gunn essentially has an entirely new universe to plan out and get going. We don't even have the first movie from the new DC universe yet. So there's a whole universe to establish and a lot of characters to establish in that universe. So in an interview with Deadline at the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 premiere, they asked him about that crossover, and James Gunn said, "I think that it would look like something that would be happening in about 10 years, not today. Because we have a whole bunch of other DC movies we need to tell. But yeah, I think it could be cool." Now, James Gunn stated that he pitched this years and years ago, a Marvel DC crossover, back when he wasn't associated with DC really that much at all. But now that he is the head over DC Studios and he has an incredibly tight connection with Marvel Studios, and specifically Marvel Studios' president, Kevin Feige, he has now brought this up again as a very real and big possibility. And I do think that it would go well if what James Gunn said has to happen happens. The multiverse needs to be a little bit more established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and a little bit more controlled. Right now, the multiverse isn't really controlled by any of the main heroes. Yes, Doctor Strange has kind of traveled the multiverse, but he needed America Chavez to do it, and he also didn't really have any control over it, and neither did she. In fact, he kind of broke the multiverse in Spider-Man No Way Home. So yes, a lot of things need to happen in the MCU, and a lot of years need to go by in the MCU to establish this multiverse and kind of get a hold of it, a grip of it, to where heroes can actually use it to travel to other multiverses if they need to, which we know is going to happen after the Kang Dynasty and during Secret Wars. It's going to be a huge multiverse battle where a lot of different variants from a lot of different universes team up together to fight Kang and his variants. And like I said, and like James Gunn said, there's a lot that needs to happen at DC Studios right now. We have no idea who Superman is, who Batman is going to be, Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern. We have no idea if Jason Momoa is staying as Aquaman or if Ezra Miller is staying as the Flash. Basically, the whole universe over at DC needs to be established, but it looks like they're going into this new universe establishing that the multiverse does indeed exist. So both universes, Marvel and DC, are kind of preparing for this to be a very big possibility. The groundwork has either been laid in the MCU or is about to be laid in the DC universe with the Flash movie. So I personally think that Kevin Feige and James Gunn teaming up to do that, I think that would work. I think the two of them know exactly what it would take to make that a big success. And I'm really excited to see that, and I hope it happens. But let us know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and leave a comment so you can enter our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to choose, and we pick a winner at the end of each month. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.